You may now select your heroes.
About this hero.
It's the Filipino Oscar coming out from Amar the Filipino, of course. Have to live up to that TI legacy that happened last time with Husker. So happens, you know, it's a bit left field coming out there from OG. Gonna be interesting to see just how much they can get. Of course, we have seen Amar play that Husker multiple times before. So they should know what to expect. You know, it's really aggressive. They've kind of kicked up the pace here on OG in comparison to that game one. So do you feel like the corrections here in draft are enough to kind of play this fast-paced game that Liquid has been bringing out?
This is still OG style draft, but it's a lot quicker and better in lanes, so I think they did a really good job. The interesting lane is probably going to be Husker against Brood if they lane it like that. I'm not sure how that lane is going to go. Brood really wants to hit, but Husker has it his arm, so that should be very, very interesting.
Wonder if there's level 1 team fight to come out. Looks like ATF is not interested whatsoever. Liquid, they might be more than happy to oblige with a level 1 team fight, but with OG's heroes, it doesn't seem like they've got the greatest level 1 team fight for now, because we're looking at those Brood Mother stats. Not bad at all. I mean, 64.3 and 57.1%, 60% overall wins. You heard Chu talk about it as well. It's the one hero that frightens him just a little bit. It didn't react too much to it, but it is still very scary. And as you can see, Zai, 100% win rate overall here on the Brood.
Yeah, he's had a fantastic time with a lot of heroes. Like again, yesterday we saw his Enigma take its first loss. It was on a massive win streak as well for Liquid while he was on that. So Zai's just been kind of setting that pace. I'm more interested to see Boxy back on that because he had an amazing time. Although
Tiger, tossed up, it's a good start. He's going to try to run. Shards around as well. Boxy, he's very good on this task. We saw it yesterday. It's going to be a lot of damage out onto the Tiny, but nothing to write home about. In fact, they even denied off the banner in here with Yuragi. The banner runes that they actually pick up.
2 for 1. Nice 2-for-1 start in the favor of OG, so they're going to be feeling a little bit better going into those lanes. Just have a little bit more to play with as we take a look at that mid Mike up against a BZM on the Ember. You mentioned it, Celery, it's not the worst laning matchup, right? Like the Ember can kind of dance around this. Do you reckon that overall BZM should have a better time, or should it draw kind of close to even here?
I think some Leshracs can win this lane when they're an expert at this matchup, but overall it should be a free lane for Ember and Lesh. They should both farm, and it's a really, really good Ember game. So even if he would slightly lose the mid lane, I think OG is perfectly fine with that, since there's almost nothing to lock him down in the mid game.
Bot lane, damaging Dota with Tumble, but there's going to be no kind of jump in. Tiger, no angle here for the toss back into Amar, and it doesn't seem like he's more than happy to get fighting yet. Meanwhile, Boxy, a nice little creep pool going on here. Reset the creep equilibrium on his side. Just let one creep through his bottom lane. ATF can take a fair bit of damage, but is going to be okay in the end.
He starts to drop low, and this is where the Bloodseeker starts to feel good. You don't have the Trist up yet. We do have a lot of early damage and slows coming out on the side of Liquid, whereas for OG, with a Husker and a Tiny, it does feel like you need a lot of EXP, a lot of levels to really start to play here, doesn't it?
This bot lane is going to be very interesting, I think. If the Bloodseeker and CM get on top of this Husker, they might just kill him. If they don't kill this guy in time, and they get some toss on CM with the disarms, it could go either way. I'm not sure how this should go, or what's gonna happen here.
The top lane, perhaps. We haven't really talked about that one at all quite yet. You can have Boxy there on that impact. Hold that thought. That's a lot of damage coming out onto the Tiny. We can have a look at the top lane, though. Boxy once again pulling the creep wave over. Misha unable to really slow down, but just trying to get the aggro of the creep wave. Oh, he's got it as well. Very nice play from Misha, but what a great shot. Box. The meantime, Tiger does end up going down. I love the shots plays from Boxy. He's always got some kind of concept, some idea to try and get the advantage. And once again, we do see the pull work out.
Yeah, they just get that on Boxy, get that build up, get the space they want for Zai. Yuragi, he can kind of twack away, but when you're in that field, when you're in the webs, Zai's not going to feel too scared of trading. You can always run up with Insatiable as well. Especially if Misha's dragged away without anyone to stop the Brood, you can just kind of get on top of that NP if you're not careful.
Yuragi could be a fair bit of damage. He's trapped up, standing his ground, trying to TP away, but the snowball is going to stun him up. Yuragi, he cannot make it out. It is going to be a very strong kill for the side of Liquid.
Very nicely done. This Brood is a lot stronger in lane now than what everyone's used to. With this insatiable hunger getting a lot of buffs, and the more levels it gets, and the harder it's gonna be in this lane. We think it should be a chill lane for Fryn, but they have a lot of kill potential.
He never stops this flow. Fox is always going. Snowball not gonna connect on Misha. They will still chase with Zai, but Misha is gonna be okay. Getting a little bit greedy there with the snowball from Boxy. Sadly for him, it does not touch the Snapfire.
Just trying to, for both targets, maybe shove Yuragi all the way back once more. Does give some room to go back for Misha, but it's all the way back to the base for him. Having to TP home, has to walk up with regen. You have that window for Liquid to still maintain that aggression up against OG here.
Overall, it looks like a pretty good start for OG in the lane. Ember is having a really good time mid. He's got more than even. He was doing a really good job on the first few waves. He really wants to get one water window. Looks like Liquid is not gonna give it.
They certainly are not. Mickey does take it. How important do you think Ezium's going to be for the side of OG? Like, is he the guy that needs to create the space for Lar and Yuragi to kind of get that farm going? Or is it all on ATF to get that farm? Does Yuragi just kind of join the team early?
I think this Ember will be making all the space. I think the Husker and the Fryn will be farming up. Fryn will be ready to connect at any time. And this Ember has a really good game. So once he gets his level 4 in Slide, I think he will walk around the map with supports and cause havoc.
That's a big one. You have a lot of aggression that can come out in comparison to game 1 where you were farming a lot more, trying to get that build up on Lush. You're not as worried about it. You just need a couple of pipes up and you should be good. Although Omar kind of being surrounded.
He certainly is. That's a lot of damage down. ATF, he's going to be hit with a nice rotation as Yuragi top lane. Also going to go down. Once again, Liquid. He just dominated every single side lane of the map. We saw this last game as well. OG just off to a slower start.
Yeah, and that's a bit worrying. You have a bigger snowball start that can come out here from Liquid with this kind of draft. Right? You've got Boxy back in that Tusk. He's got some good timings to meet as the support. And considering how good his lane is, he's probably going to have a pretty decent enough blink timing in this game if he's just allowed to kind of have this impact. You already have Yuragi going into the jungle. You're just ditching out that Broodmother lane, but considering the space for Zai, I mean, that's a lot of utility that he can just build into here.
Yeah, Chu said he was a bit worried about the Brood. Now he's a little bit more worried, I think, on this start. But the good thing OG has, if they can get good power runs on this Ember, he can probably shift towards the Brood lane, and the Fryn doesn't have to sit there, because it's gonna be very scary for Fryn.
It can be really annoying. We're already seeing him shoved away. He's really behind in CS as well here for Yuragi in comparison. You just have such a dominating lane coming out from Zai. Trying to poke and prop down bot. You mentioned not quite knowing what you'd expect from the Husker Titan lane. Do you think this is what you were expecting though? Like Matumba is still kind of fighting farm. ATF not really able to stop that too much.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of 50-50. They got a nice kill because Bloodseeker got a lot of speed from the other lanes. I guess it didn't really snowball. I thought there was snowball potential for OG if they got some good tossbacks, but it seems like the nukes from the CM and the Bloodseeker are enough to equalize the lid and just keep on farming.
With top 2 networks on the board right now, Easy, or rather the Leshrac, Mickey, and Zai, so strong at the start. They do get going. Like you almost expect another side lane gank very soon from the side of Liquid. But now they are paying respect to OG. Okay, just getting
Dire's
his own
top
farm
tower
up.
is under
No
attack.
run for him. Zai just completely controlling the top lane that you do want to do on the Broodmother, and I imagine it's going to be quite a fast tier 1 tower to be taken here by this Brood. As like you've got the greatest ways of defending, but they are grouping up a bot lane. AT in trouble once again as Mathamba going to move in, but there's a split team fight going on. Top lane, another fight going on as well. ATF's going to be fine. It seems like Boxy's the one to drop up at top. So BZM able to secure one. Zai unable to secure the Snapfire kill. Instead, he will be forced to try and run away from BZM, but he's going to be just fine. So they do at least get a Tusk kill for their trouble.
Yeah, the more important thing is, now this tower would have already been dead. Ember didn't go here, so he's gonna slow down the Brood, and it makes a lot of space on the map. If this Brood gets his tower too quickly, he'll go to mid. He wants to go for the entire map. Oh, shards.
Gonna lock down Tiger once again. No way out, surely. He'll toss away. Tumba, he's got so much speed though, and Mickey really just there to make sure they can knock it out. Matumba man able to pick up another kill here on the Bloodseeker.
Yeah, you're feeling good in the blood. Matu's got a pretty free lane, Maelstrom being built up, Javelin already on hand. Bottom network of his own team in terms of cores, but he's pretty close to Zai and Mika's farm, which is almost kind of out there. Just not contested, especially Zai outside of that rotation up top. 5-1 start. I mean, you mentioned that push potential coming out here, Celery. Top tier 1 still stands, so OG is still managing to find farm. You mentioned a tempo coming out from ZM though. He does have the over-corrosion up, and it looks like he is going to the Maelstrom. Is that all he's going to need? They're clumping down bot, maybe for a bit of a shove in. Matu is long.
Matu, Avalanche there. He is there to follow up as well. The blocks are a massive pickup here for OG, and it seems like Tuckback has no way out of this one. Very nice setup here from Tiger. ATF very happy to secure that kill.
Yeah, very nice map movement. They're not trying to fight on mid. It would be very, very hard to take a fight there. They instead just kill the curve. And they have this tower that Liquid brought a lot of heroes for. Liquid is not slowing down though.
They certainly are not. Cookie away from Misha. Avalanche going to buy some space in the shards. Off the mark.
Under attack.
Here for see the miss like that as Misha might still run. Mickey in the end going to be able to close the gap though, so it won't matter. They will still secure the snap fight.
Even though Liquid is off to a very good start, OG is doing a good job splitting the map, just farming up their items, not worrying and trying to overreact. Ember deals with the Brood. Huskar and Furion farm the timings, and once his Huskar hits arm, I imagine they'll try to use that for smoke and potentially into Roche if they get a pickup close to it.
ZM, bit of harassment up top, but he's just kind of playing around with Zai here, just taking more spinelings away from the Broodmother. Always has a remnant to go back to, though Zai really wants to try and bully him and try to make him use that remnant. Now he's going to be forced to back off as Tiger and Boxy both rotating up towards the top lane. They are going to back their way out, the BZM going to move in. In fact, hold on a minute, they've got Insania on the CM and Boxy. Also going to drop as well. OG able to find both supports here.
Yeah, they get some punishment. A bit of a spray coming out from the side of Liquid, trying to scout around, maybe drop some vision for it. And they do get punched. OG finding a little bit of a foothold, getting that build-up they'd want, especially on BZM, who is going to be kind of setting up and dealing with Broodmother's early timings for the Maelstrom almost done. For the side of Liquid, and it does feel like they're also more than happy to just kind of farm a little bit here though.
Yeah, they probably feel a little bit awkward about this Ember, because they really want to help their Brood and get this Ember out of there. They just do not have the heroes to do it.
Tiger, mid lane, Avalanche will be out to try and dissuade them from going any further and work out in his favor. His way out just fine. ATF around the corner just in case they need it. Speaking of ATF, his farm, it does feel like it's suffering quite a bit. In 4.3k net worth, he's got the armor up, so maybe he could try to fight with this team, but a little bit too far behind, I think. OG, do you think they need to group up now and try to get these fights going, or is it okay for them to just maybe hit another kind of timing?
This Huskar hero is very tricky. Usually, if you don't know this hero that well like me, I think he has armlet as it's time to go. But this hero is one of the quickest farmers with armlet. If he gets to just farm his triangle, just farm some camps. So Liquid does not let them just farm these camps. So if they can close down the map, then that should be really good for them. OG does want to use this Huskar at some point. Either let him farm a lot right now, or we can move into the Roche. But it's looking pretty hard with how the map is set up.
Yeah, I mean, the movement of Liquid, they've taken over the top jungle. They're starting to pressure onto mid. There's nowhere in space for OG to farm. In fact,
gets caught out. Better than APF getting caught out though. The gank here for the Husker. You're going to stick around. In fact, there is some rotations coming in. You've got Misha on the side. Making sure they protect that T2 mid tower as you do have a less track and a mother after all. You can take the tower very, very quickly if you are Liquid. But for now, they'll be satisfied with the Tiger kill.
Yeah, it's not the biggest in the
Dire's
world,
middle tower is
but
under attack.
again, they're getting so much space out. They're taking over top jungle, the webs are all down, Zai can pass in and out there. Triangle, it's not somewhere that
Dire's
they have
bottom
really
tower
gotten
is
to.
under
OG does
attack.
have wards watching, but they're not able to stack up as much and build the resources up for their own build up. Now Yuragi is just kind of farming the opposing triangle anyway, and just trying to avoid as much, but it's only him that can kind of go out there. Everyone else stuck with dealing with getting what they can from the creep waves right now.
Yeah, the OG cores are not suffering too much. They're doing a really good job. One hero that's really not having a nice time is Tiny. It's very, very low level. Getting up this blink is going to be near impossible. There's nowhere for him to farm at all.
Bottom lane, gonna move in. He'll cop the rupture. He's kind of forced them to find this one out, but there's surely no way. He will try with the life break, but it's gonna be nowhere near enough. Okay, able to secure the kill. More rotations, BZM, chains it up for Tumba. He's a big one, and they will find him. The Bloodseeker is gonna OG looking for a bit more with the Mortimer's kits. They'll find Insania on that Crystal Maiden. That'll be a second as Boxy now, trying to be up at the chains with the toss in is gonna work out in the favor of OG. It's Liquid, they do find one, but they give up three.
Yeah. That's a huge swing coming out from OG. Seeing that opportunity to push, still having that TP point to play with, and just managing to know that Matu is really vulnerable there. Doesn't have Rupture to threaten with. His teammates all kind of use their spells as well. They've got the opportunity to push off the back of it. There was a bit of a split going up top from Zai, but not as fast as what OG accomplished down bot. And this does open up the map a little bit more to get some more gold on their way.
That was a very cool move they did. They pick off the Huskar, and Liquid felt very safe after that. The Bloodseeker is just farming the lane. The OG is just ready. They're not afraid their Huskar died, but they just did. Snap did not even 6 yet. He gets 6 from that kill. That's good for its comeback for them.
Mickey, all alone. Now, they're gonna move in. That's a lot of damage coming in with the stun ball. It's gonna find better something. Mickey gonna turn here, but there's surely not enough damage. He will drop. Matamba gonna try and punish. Misha is down. How far can you go? They find another. BZM, he does take down Boxy. And it's gonna be another successful team fight the way OG.
Ember is popping up right now. He's getting all the kills. He's involved in all the fights. And they just have no stuns to kill him yet. It's gonna be quite hard for them to deal with him.
Yeah, like you mentioned, it does feel like a fairly free Ember game here. And every single time that BZM just shows up, doesn't feel like they can handle him. Maybe you could try to Rupture to threaten, doesn't feel the best against the Ember, and your support are gonna have to try to focus in on that highly mobile target. Maybe try to set up for Mike. And again, it's not an easy task. Even game on the kill board, 9-9. It does feel like Liquid, they've managed to drop a little bit of some momentum. OG, they are starting to ramp up off the back of BZM. He's got traveled stuff. He's ready to be all over the map.
That's a very cool build. You don't see that very often nowadays.
BM picking up the devil. He'll be caught out. Right, is there? He might be. He will be. That's a bit of a caster's curse there from you two. That wasn't my fault. I'm out of this one.
The Frostbite just a little bit too strong.
Yeah, and that's the one hold, right? If one of the supports can be on top and you've some sort of ball, you've got the space to kind of get that done. With that kill, Liquid straight into Roshan here as well, popping everything to take up that objective. OG not quite in the position to contest without that Ember.
Yeah, that's a massive kill for them. It's true, the Frostbite can still control the Ember. If the Ember has any fight and any vision, he will have 3 range. This was amazing. The pickup was next to Roche. They get to take the Roche, and now they should be able to control. They need to go off the lanes first. They shouldn't go on the enemy jungle yet, just push out the lanes. And put up again after them.
That's where the Nature's Prophet really shines. So Yuragi is just applying some pressure, trying to force movement a little.
Shots out, they're gonna find Tiger on the Tiny. They'll try to toss away Boxy, but it won't make a difference. Tiger's still caught. And
1,000 of your kind have fallen before
Very
me.
interesting build by Fury as well. He went
Radiant's
to
bottom
Bronze
tower
first
is
and
under
then a
attack.
mage here.
Yeah, it does feel like he's focusing more on maybe just trying to split the control into a porn for some more damage after later on and mitigate whatever Liquid might want to pump out here. And maybe instead relying on the damage coming out from Amar, coming out from BZM with a Husker and the Ember. and just kind of play more of a secondary role, buying out space in the map, eating up that split push when you can, just slowly but surely ramping up those resources for down the line. It does feel like this kind of build might not show as much in a lot of these rotations though.
Oh, Misha, wrong place, wrong time. Get put out the spider, get the work though. There is a lot of damage coming. BZM just stealing all of the spiders away as well. Moxie still trying, but they will eventually find him. It's going to be a 1-for-1. Zai used the back off earlier on as he just didn't want to deal with the whole side of OG. So it's just going to be a support trade.
Interesting. Taiga is not even trying to go for Blink. He was getting somewhat close, but he just opted to buy a Veil instead and fully play around the Ember and commit his hero too deep in the fight.
Yeah, I think they realize they've got enough jump in.
That was a very good call. Very true.
Radiant are scanning.
Smoke up, Liquid. In they go. Oxy, up by 8. Yeah. This is a big one. The Husker in trouble. Snowball will be there. The splitter is out as well, and ATF is just gonna melt. No chance survival for ATF.
They get a big one. Didn't even manage to arm the toggle. Chain stuns coming out from the side of Liquid. Because of that kill, they have the security to force onto an objective. They've still got Aegis for 2.5 minutes here as well, but they're not even playing around with Mika. Just having Matu stand up front with the protection of his BKB and force OG to kind of make a choice. They're clumping around here, but it doesn't feel like they could find a clear angle if they're not careful.
Yeah, you talked about the Fern splitting a lot. The Lesh adjusted the build a bit. He had the overclock first, but he went for the travels to deal with the splitting.
Still group. Playing BZM. Tiger, Misha, they're all there. Shard's gonna give it a bit of vision. Robshot immediately out onto the Ember, but he's just fine to back his way out. Tiger and Misha still hanging around, bouncing on the cookie away. The Tiger makes the jump in. On the Foxy, but Foxy will jump right back in on the Tiny. It should be a 1-for-1. They still haven't got that Tiny down yet. In fact, now they do. And they found Yuragi on the Nature's Prophet. They even found Misha. Matumba, he loves these kind of team fights. Everyone just dropping low. He can rush forward every single time. And OG, they're still not ready with the Husker.
Yeah, the big thing for Liquid as well is Matu doesn't have to pop the BKB in these fights. He has a fresh 9-second charge just not being utilized because he doesn't need it. So the next time around, if OG wants to re-engage, they have a huge window where Matu is just going to feel too big. You're not going to be able to touch him. The damage is not going to be there. And they just see all these opportunities. They're taking this map on really well. We've got a 5k lead. We are seeing a marker try to use the space to farm up, working towards the BKB. But
I guess one of them after daytime.
Yeah, he does get caught, and he's gonna get taken out. So close yet so far. Liquid, they are looking very strong now. 5k, 17 to 11, and we're yet to see this Husker work.
Yeah, the impact just isn't quite there. He's still busy trying to farm up. You mentioned Celery, you know, once the armlet's up, maybe you're much more willing to fight. You just going back farm, and again, that unfortunate timing on spotting out the bid for the side of OG, but very fortunate for Liquid finding the punishment for Amar. Where do you go from here? Is it really just the BKB status as they look for more?
They are going to look for more top looking Tiger. It's going to get caught. Matata able to pick up his 4th kill. As in they go play Misha trying to cook again. BZM, he'll join the fray, but can you actually fight this? It doesn't feel like it. Boxy's too tanky. Zai, he'll keep chasing, but BZM will remember it all. So they continue to face the slowest there. BZM, how do you juke you out of this one? He'll just run south. He has a remnant north. Liquid, they're going for tier 3 towers. They know how strong they are right now.
Ember is still having a great time, but Liquid realizes it's only the Ember. They do not have to be afraid of the other 2 cores yet. They didn't any timings. And this Ember cannot be 5. He's not big enough with his from other 3 cores.
Tower has fallen.
What's the condition now for OG? I mean, Liquid have been playing fantastic, but for OG, how do they hold? They're going for a smoke play. Is it pickoffs they need as they look?
Yeah, pickoffs. Foxy. They're going with the slow. A nice blood rat set up from Matumba. Doesn't have to fight this one. He got the silence onto BZM, so they might be able to afford the try. In fact, Sun's it as well. He bashes the perfect time into the split earth, but it's not right on time. Very close from Mickey. Great attempt. At least for OG, he can get over the support field now. Mickey, pretty deep. Let's get caught out. He's getting blocked as we'll find the trees. We'll still move back in off the Tiger. They'll find the Tiny. In they go. Onto Uragi. Through the BKB, they've got the Rupture. Uragi surely can't find his way out. He'll get bashed up. It's a Misha. They go now. Liquid. We'll keep going. ATF does show up. A buyback will be expended as BDM does at least find Sani and Tiger. He'll get back into the game, but this buyback, it doesn't feel like it amounts to much.
Got it.
The tricky thing is, getting back into the game is quite hard right now. They really want some skirmish fights and some pickups, but the Tiny doesn't have a blink, so they don't have any tossback potential. The Huskar is getting closer to his BKB, so they might just have to try to wait for it. He might have a little bit of space to farm it right now. Liquid is not slowing, so they might just take back the map very soon, once Lash's BKB is ready again.
It doesn't feel like there's any big reason for Liquid to back off. They've managed to force out some buybacks. They haven't really taken any objectives just yet as well. The high ground still does stand. So you still have a lot to go for in these lanes. Maybe wait out the security of next Roshan. Only a few seconds left until we see that respawn timer.
Yeah, that's still very, very confident. He will lose the Spiralings. BZM even picking up a Battle Fury now. Just really going to abuse the line of physics, those Spiralings. You can see how easily he clears them up now. The Battle Fury build very effective as well for the high ground defense.
And now they have a nice comeback potential. All these spots are stacked with the heroes. They gets a rampage in one slide.
I mean, they're going to have to clump up pretty tight, but you know, in a tight spot like the high ground force, could be a possibility coming out there for OG. Really good switch out from BZM. How about the other heroes though? You mentioned it's only really BZM having that good time. Anything else you'd like to see out from, say, Uragi, ATF, obviously BKB?
Like again, he's been focused so much in this game. They do not want to give the Tiny a game whatsoever. Tiger's still trying to farm up the blink, but just can't get anywhere near us. Now Misha, also getting caught and just taken down. Both supports once again gone to the side of OG. Roshan's up.
That's the big
Just taking over the map, taking the second Roche now, which is going to be a big timing. Huskar will have his BKB ready after that, but it's going to be hard for him to get impact even with this BKB. If they realize he has his BKB now, they will just rupture him in the fight, and if they kite him a bit, his BKB will just go off without being able to do a lot.
And you've got again, that second Roche with a shard ready to go here for Liquid. They could look for the high ground play now. You can see all the Spiderlings scurrying around on the mini-map. Just get some vision out as they collapse onto the mid. And for OG, I mean, this high ground hold, it feels really difficult. You can clear the creep wave. BZM has to play an insane game. And maybe eventually, as you mentioned here, Celery, if they do get a blink up on the Tiny, there's some counterplay there, along with the BKB, of course, Audemars being freshly built up.
Yeah. They've been doing a good job splitting the map, so they're not falling behind that far on their course. The big trouble is this Tiny just never gonna have to blink. But if they can hold long enough with Ember Battle, and the person gets more items up, his hero does skill really well.
G, only can give it a 10% chance here to win out this game. My Dota Plus, a very rough affair, 90% at the moment. You can certainly agree with those stats. I mean, with the Aegis up, it doesn't feel like they've been contested for so long now, and Lazai is keeping tabs. OG are smoked up, they will find the Broodmother. That's how they'll get started. They haven't done so much damage yet though. Zai, he's actually quite tanky, and BZM, he does a book with the Remnant, but they've got another target. It's gonna be Tiger, who does get ruptured up, and once again is gonna drop. It's just so hard because it feels like Tiger wants that blink up to be able to find some kind of toss back and make a comeback happen, but they are not giving him any breathing room.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
He's just had a rough time, right? Like, ever since for that Veil, just trying to amp up the damage coming through, it's just completely counteracted by the pipe and that Wraith Pack coming out from Zai. High ground doesn't take long to do.
Liquid is not going to give them any space to breathe. Just force everyone at least back in base, and potentially just commit on it. They have really big timings right now. They have the Aegis, they got everything they need.
Here we go, Liquid onto the high ground once again. The tier 3 tower not gonna last very long as Matumba's just hitting so hard. Oh, the left rack, but a nice cookie. No, it's not gonna land. Tiger still with the avalanche toss. Is there Mickey? Has the Bloodstone. Will take down the tiny once again as Yuragi. Boxy in the line is at least gonna drop, so it might force Liquid to reset and come back another day. They still almost has 8 minutes of the 8th up. So they can afford to do this and just wait out their task. Maybe not. He does get caught on the Ember. He is gone.
Blood.
Oh boy.
Oh man. Nope. Buyback out in BZM either. So they can just, again, go back here, multi-objectives from Liquid's end, and they have a full minute where they don't have to worry about their creep being cleared out, but they don't have to worry about the Ember just kind of looking for that back line, these softer targets, and just try to melt them away. You still have the chance for Yuragi to kind of, you know, go to a lane and try to work it into OG's favor, but it's tough.
Bottom lane, here we go again. Okay, it's troubled in.
Bottom barracks are under
Bottom
attack.
racks under siege. They'll force the cliff out. G. They're very patient, trying to force a fight, but they've got to get it done sometime soon.
It's gonna be very rough to hold on to this right now. I think Liquid might even force for the first side right now. They split this Aegis, they don't have to wait for anything.
Drop shot is there on TF, just making it hard for him to even thinking about jumping in. Now, mid-3 tower under siege, Liquid are so calmly taking these structures, knowing the advantage they have. 17k. Aegis up to the minute-and-a-half OG. They're going to try and fight now. They'll start with Mickey. Trying to find the first life, but the Wraith back is going to be out. It is tied off by Misha. Liquid, they have not backing though. They want to keep going. Mickey is so confident, but may lose the first life now. No, in fact, never mind. 4-star will be there. He's going to be just fine.
I think the one bright side here for OG is that they didn't have to kind of expand anything or lose anything here, but you're at the point where even just going outside your own base is very annoying. Full ags up on Zon. These little traps are just kind of give a lot of information out and just make it so hard for OG to try to make something happen. Say if they wanted to smoke outside, it gets a lot tougher with just getting trapped up in the middle.
Yeah, the Lash picked up Hex as well now. He has the pink Hex, and the Ember realized he's the one that is having the free game. He cannot go too defensive, so he doesn't have anything for this Hex or for Silence. So this might be getting close to the end of this. Get a good jump.
Oh, there it is. They jump in. Cookie was there. BZM. Oh, he was the one caught out. Matumba, he keeps bashing on command. BZM, he's down for 90 seconds. Minute and a half without back available on the Ember. This could be it. He doesn't have the gold right now. Liquid, there'll be 2 Raptors up. OG, they are trying to split push the best they possibly can, but the creeps are still in their base. But never mind, backdoor will kick in. Liquid, they won't have the time to go up to the T3 yet, but Amar trying to fight Mickey. Has he gone far? ATF, he's going to fight Boxy. Onto Mickey they go. They might have the left track, and they do. OG, they'll find another Matumba. He got the drop. He does pick up ATF. He's got the Husker down, and now the bash is coming out again. Yuragi, he cannot escape Matumba, man.
Blood is mine.
It's so difficult for OG. I mean, they're trying to make space. This is what they need to do. Try to stall out, force the back door, kick back in, but they don't manage to hold it. The creep whip comes back in. They lose some very big heroes, and they don't have a solution. Buybacks are ready on the respawn of BZM, though.
They've got to try something. OG. Either buyback up from Yuragi. That's going to be enough for them to back off. Rather Liquid, that is. But he just there.
Tiger's trying to make some magic happen. He got rid of his Veil to pick up the Blink now after all. And this is what, with some potential good prospects, they still have a chance. You always have a chance until the game is over. So you just gotta keep your head high, keep trying.
Yeah, look for that opportunity to drag someone away. You've got the damage follow through to play with it anyway. I just feel like your investments here onto Amar, onto BZM can pay off now. Like they do have some good right click on hand. For Liquid, I mean, your 2 racks is up. You've taken the tier 3 top. Do you reckon you try to force something here, or do you just wait for Aegis once more?
I think first of all, you don't want to give too much space to OG, so potentially just do a move to take back the top side of the map. They already have a nice ward there. And if they do get any pickoff, they can just insta-go to the base. Maybe they feel strong enough, they don't even have to wait. They can just go right now, get a good team fight.
Gotta be careful. Liquid moving up. Already in. Mickey, he's right out onto the support. In fact, BZM, here by Matumba as Yuragi. Is he going to get out? Just barely. No bashes from Matumba. But there's 2 down. Ahmad does not have buyback available. There is only 1 lane of barracks left in Liquid. They're going right for it.
Dire's top
Nothing to stop him.
barracks are under
BZM,
attack.
he's got to dance around here really hard, but not even the tossback potential's at play. No buybacks available. Respawns are short though.
Oh, BCM has been sniped by stuff. This could be Liquid. They'll take him down. He has the buyback. He's going to commit it surely.
Has fallen. Dire's
No
top
hold for
barracks
now.
has fallen.
Liquid may back up, but Liquid, they're looking for those tier 4 towers. Such a dominant series so far for Liquid. OG, they've got one last chance. They'll wait for ATF to respawn first, but they've held down Misha. Fire, it's gonna melt. No buyback available. Now getting caught in front of his fountain. They'll move back towards the T4. They'll see ATF moving in on this Husker, trying to find a way, but Zion making it so darn hard to close the gap. In fact, he's even TPing towards the CM, trying to find at least Insania, but Glimmer Cave. They don't have detection. Instead, they go to Zion on the Brood, but Zion, he'll man up. There's the disarm out from ATF. Meanwhile, on the side, BZM, he's gonna drop to Matumba. Zion still running, just can't get on. They'll toss it in. ATF still trying his hardest, but it's not looking good. It seems like Liquid, they might have this series in the bag. There's 4 down, GG's called. GG is called. Liquid, they've done it once again, this time 2-0 against OG. And OG, I mean, they're a bad favorite here at TA11, but Liquid proving to be way too strong here today.
Yeah, they played really well, synchronized so well, they kept the lane shut down very nicely. And